All right, everyone, we start off today with another day, another Joe Biden gaffe. I did talk about this yesterday during the live broadcast, and I'll probably be having another one today at noon. This is not going to become like a daily show thing. I figure I'll do it like maybe 2 or 3 times a week, maybe. I'm still thinking about a schedule, but I'm not going to wait until the afternoons or evenings to do it because I'm a morning person now, especially because I've got coffee. So I'll be talking about various things later as well on the live broadcast. So make sure around maybe noon Eastern time, that's when it'll be. But I talked about this a little bit yesterday, Joe Biden's epic gaffe in Seattle, where he talked about, well, like 4 years ago, basically. If someone had told a gay waiter joke, it would have been considered acceptable. The idea was we've come a long way in like the struggle for gay equality or, toleration of gay people. And it fell flat. Because in Seattle, no, 4 years ago it was not okay to tell gay waiter jokes. Now, let me qualify that. Let me post my opinion. I don't care if someone's gay. I believe totally in gay rights and gay equality. Gay marriage is fine. It's none of my business. I don't care because it's their personal life. People should be able to do what they want in their bedroom. It doesn't bother me. At the same time, I'm completely anti-political correctness, so I do think that it should be acceptable to tell gay jokes. Yes. I think it should be acceptable to tell racial jokes. I think that as long as it's in the proper place and format and it's understood to be facetious, the taboo nature of it is what makes it particularly funny, because otherwise you're left with shitty puns and dad jokes. And that's really all you have. And I don't want to see humor stop being humorous because you have to break taboos in order for it to be truly humorous. Listen to some Carlin stand-up. Listen to some Dennis Leary. Listen even early Bill Cosby out, ironically enough. Listen to any of the good comedians throughout time. It's taboo. That's on fucking purpose. But the fact is that the idea that in open company in a non-comedic situation, in a more malevolent tone, that it was okay 4 years ago or even 10 years ago in Seattle to tell a gay waiter joke is completely wrong. And it seems this is Biden, I think, being confused with time. He's lost track of time, and he thinks it's still 2008, and so 4 years ago, maybe he would have been right in a place like Seattle. Like he would have thought, no, maybe it would be culturally acceptable in like the early 2000s or something. Maybe that's what he's thinking, and he's just having like an old man moment. By the way, somebody yesterday thought that Sanders was younger than Biden. It's actually not true. Biden is 4 years older than Trump. Trump is 3 years older. No, 4. Trump is 72, I believe. Biden's like 76, Sanders is 77. Those are the Democratic frontrunners. Warren's a spring chicken at the tender young age of 70, by the way. It's hilarious. Those are their top 3 candidates. They're all in their 70s. But this is a major gaffe. I don't know that it's as major as the other one. This one would be more of a floozy on the gaffe scale. The other one was more of a doozy. We're going to go back to using that scale like we did with the Veritas releases that came down, pouring down like hailstones in a thunderstorm, basically, in the last election. This election, at least for the primaries, we're looking for Biden gaffes, because he's going to make more. Okay, he's now got 2 under his belt in only about a month's period. There will be probably more Biden gaffes. It'd be really funny if it was at a debate, because this was at a fundraiser. He's in Seattle. He's talking to his core fans, begging them for money essentially because he doesn't have any grassroots support because he's a corporate neoliberal candidate, and he makes this mistake. How much more funny would it be if it was on a major stage in front of the whole nation, and he says something that's like fucking totally off the wall and destroys his own campaign? And this is what I warned about when I said that there was a high chance Biden would be the candidate. The caveat was that he is the only person able to stop himself. The only way he can do that is by doing things like this, making dumb mistakes. It should be a breeze beating the rest of the field. There are no strong left-wing candidates in the Democratic field. For all of the bluster that I hear from people on the far left about how wonderful Kamala Harris would be, yas, Queen Slay, or Warren 2020, she can get it done because she'll, scalp Trump or something like that. All of the buzzwords and bullshit from the left. Or Sanders, out of nowhere, he's a strong, independent man who don't need no capitalism. No, these are not strong candidates. Sanders is a tired old man. Elizabeth Warren is a chronic liar and known to be. Kamala Harris, same thing. She's got a lot of baggage. Biden looks like the sane man on stage, and he keeps doing dumb shit. And he's going to keep doing it because he's Joe Biden. He's got a long career of having done things like this. Now, part of it is this. It's the Bush effect. Think of it this way. When he was in politics 20 years ago, he didn't act that way. He was more of a standard, corporate-looking, slick-back politician. He didn't make a lot of gaffes. He didn't act the way he does now. He got used to being the court jester for 8 years under Obama. He fell into that role. He's been typecast, and now he can't escape from it. He got too used to being the fool, the court jester. That's essentially what happened to poor Biden. So now he's fucked himself. So now the odds of him being the nominee decrease a little bit each time he makes such a mistake. This knocks it down by 5 points to 85% chance of a Biden nomination. I would say Warren is quickly rising up. It looks like her rise won't be a fluke. She's going to displace maybe Bernie Sanders, which would be hilarious. He does deserve it. But I mean, when the viable Biden challenger is someone who cannot beat Trump because she spent most of her adult life lying about her ethnicity, and someone who latched on, but before the details are even clear, latched on to the new Green Deal and then said, whoops, this probably wasn't a great idea once you actually learned what that deal was, that's going to be a problem for the Democrats. This is pure Joe Biden. I can't wait to see the next mistake that he makes. He's going to hang himself. He's going to destroy his own campaign. The first mistake he makes takes away his main fundraising apparatus, his main corporate fundraiser group. One of the biggest that he had, one of the biggest in any campaign, abandoned him completely. And so now he's hemorrhaging money. He has lost some support. Although here's the thing. Here's why even if he makes a bunch of mistakes, unless they are truly, truly severe, it might not even matter, it might not stop him. And this is why he still has a better than 50-50 chance by far of becoming the nominee. Hear me out. Here's the reason why. Joe Biden's coalition is partially comprised of maybe 10 to 15% of the party, which is more than most other candidates have in total. That just that one portion of his coalition, that 10 to 15% of the Democrats, that are scared shitless of the far left nature of the other candidates. They're afraid of the far left taking over the party because they themselves, these are your business Dems, the center left, the moderate Democrats, people who might end up fleeing and voting for Trump in huge numbers if someone like Sanders becomes the nominee. For every vote that they gain among the far-left youth who would be more energized if you had a Sanders or a Warren or something like that, you'd lose 2 or 3 votes probably among these older voting demographics that come out at higher levels anyway, fleeing to the Republican Party or staying home. I think it would be a total disaster for the Democratic Party if they go far left. If the person that they nominate has gone too far left during the campaign, the infinite memory of the internet is going to sink them. It's not like in the old days where they could go far left while campaigning to their core fans and then pretend that they were always, in the general election, more of a moderate. That's what they used to do, politicians, before the recent era. After 2008, that stops happening. You saw the seeds of it were sown already in 2012 with the Ron Paul effect and the upswinging of third-party loyalty and things of that nature, and the increasing bitterness, I think, of the internet, the increasing instantaneous mimetic nature of information transfer between people, and the increasingly democratized nature of politics. Comes into full bloom in 2016. The tech firms and legacy media go crazy because they're like, oh shit, things are breaking down. Pretty soon we'll no longer be able to rule over America with an iron fist and take everyone's money and start wars and line our own pockets. People might actually know what's going on. Shit, we got to start banning people. Now in 2020, it's not clear that they'll have enough time to actually stop that from happening again. That's why I think it'll probably end up being Trump 2020. You don't even have to like Trump particularly to understand that he's got an advantage. Look at who his opponent is likely to be. Somebody who, if he gets through the primaries, will be so embattled, and then he'll be geriatric up on stage making crazy mistakes all the time. Or maybe it's Sanders, even older, even crazy, definitely being run down. Elizabeth Warren or Kamala Harris, chronic liars. Buttigieg, a man who, he's got orange man bad syndrome, and he's not even 40 yet. That could be a little bit of a problem. His youth could be a problem, arguably. We saw Ronald Reagan make a joke about Mondale during the his re-election bid, which was quite effective at the time, talking about the youth and inexperience of his opponent. Now, of course, Reagan by that point had mild Alzheimer's, possibly. And I think Reagan had two sons, I think, and one of them is like rock-ribbed Republican, the other became a liberal, and the liberal one swears up and down that he had Alzheimer's by then. And the other kid's like, no, he didn't. That's a lie. It's a vicious lie, and trying to tarnish his reputation, spread by liberals or something. I don't know. But I would say Trump has a pretty good chance because, again, even if Biden makes a couple more significant errors, because of the nature of his coalition, the bloc that he's already solidified to some degree, it's not clear anyone else in a packed field can challenge him. There are too many different people on the left with different wedge issues. One of them would have to crush the rest of them out of the field. Is that going to happen? They all look opportunistic to me. Is anyone willingly going to drop out if they're above 3 or 4% in the polling before all of the votes are counted at the end of the primaries? No, because there's no reason for them to. They make a lot of money and have a lot of power. The DNC will put pressure on these candidates to drop out. It'll be funny to see if other far leftists like AOC or Tlaib or somebody, Ilhan Omar, it'll be funny if they pressure in the opposite direction. They could end up destroying the Democratic Party. The Democrats might end up being destroyed from within. And the Republicans aren't going to destroy them. Trump's campaigning on, basically, tax reform, ACA mandate is gone, Veterans Administration reform, trying to make peace in Korea, no major wars, economy generally chugging along. He has those to be a platform. But then the other plank in his platform that he's fast developing into a mainstay of his speeches and sloganeering is really, look at the Democrats. They're fucking crazy. Look at the things they're suggesting. What we're doing is working for many Americans. What they're suggesting is crazy. It's further left than some socialist groups in Europe would ever suggest. Which is true. It's not false. So look at some of the things that have been seriously suggested by both candidates and by people within the Democratic Party. Eliminating beef production, eliminating air travel, trains across the Atlantic. It's fucking crazy. Eliminating fossil fuels within 10 years entirely. Without nuclear, by the way. It's not possible. These are serious suggestions that have been made. Serious suggestions. Banning all guns, not just assault rifles, which is, a misnomer. It doesn't even make sense. Banning all guns. Doubling the marginal tax rate. I mean, you're talking crazy talk. Oh, everything will be free. Don't worry. Government will take care of you because governments have been so benevolent throughout U.S. and world history. Orange man bad. Our government is corrupt, but let's give the government more power. The government, Trump is a fascist. He wants to kill people. Let's take all your guns away. That's basically the Democrats' selling point right now. We want you to pay more money. We'll give you shitty health care in return. Fuck the Democratic Party. That's about all. Peace out.